XTCG Kingdom here, bringing you my new type of video, the versus live video. Boss Fox Kitchen Table versus XTCG Kingdom, myself. This is going to be a video playing live since we do not have Pixelborn anymore. We are going to be showing off I will be showing off my Villainous deck, which is Emerald Amber, and he will be showing off his Jessamine Fulton deck that is Emerald and Amethyst. We are going to show the deck list right now. The deck here consists, for my villain deck, is a bunch of cards that will try to work with its villains to try to get cards on board and make it so that we are going to get bonuses from our Hades. Our Hades is going to try to get questing for a lot, and then our secondary plays are Pete. Both Petes, actually. We are trying to use the Queen to actually power up the Petes for both abilities, like the one for the smaller Pete to balance back the hand, and the little Pete to actually quest for about 4 when he's at power of 7 or more. We are using a bunch of songs and a bunch of actions in the deck here to help make it so that our characters are more powerful or have more control. One of the very first cards from the first set that actually helps the deck is called Vicious Betrayal. When you use that card on a villain, it actually powers them up by 3 instead of the normal 2, which can give characters like Pete his ability right off the bat. And you're using Diablo here just to get some draws off. You're also using the Ursula to help sing songs and control board. The other Ursula to quest and keep your opponent's hand in check. And then the little Hades to start cheating out characters by getting rid of and sacrificing little characters of the same name. We are going to also play a few hidden incasters to help with the uninkables in the deck. And we are going to bring you the deck gameplay right after the sponsor, which is Realm Hoppers, a new card and collectibles card game store that they do online shipping to all of Canada, and they also don't charge tax for their first opening. You can actually order cards from them if you live in Canada, and they will deliver anywhere in all of Canada. Well, I hope you check it out, and we'll see you soon over at Realm Hoppers. And we're going to shoot some gameplay here over and out. This is our first gameplay for our first time doing the live videos. We are getting ready to cut and shuffle our decks up against Boss Fox here. We're trying to make sure that we have a good hand, so we are going to slowly shuffle our hand. This is our first attempt at doing the online. I'm playing the Emerald Amber again, and he is playing the Emerald and Amethyst decks. He's again playing a deck focused on bringing out and swarming the Jet Sims and Float Sims, while I am trying to just control the board and quest for a lot with my villains. We are getting ready to cut our decks here, and we are just telling each other what to do for our cutting aspects of the deck. We are going to just go like that, put the decks back together, and then we are going to roll to see who to go first. We got our first tie. We're going to roll again for our second one, and we have a winner, and that is me going first. I am choosing to go first, and we are going to get my 7 cards and start our mulligans. We are just trying to look for cards in the hand that help us get turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3, so forth plays off. I can't show the hand 100% here just because my opponent could see my hand during the gameplay how we have it recorded. So I thought I was going to choose to put 5 back to the deck and then draw a new 5, but I took 1 back and decided to go only 4 back to the deck. I put those on the bottom, and then I draw my new 4. I have a tendency to not look at my cards that I draw because I want it to be a surprise, and it makes it so that I have to really think about my hand on the fly. It's a little technique I like to do that make it so that I don't feel downward about me getting worse hand or hands out of the mulligan, or just feel bad about it. I have him not cut my deck, even though I should have, and we are just playing for fun, so it's not going to be a big deal. But in a normal stance, I would recommend cutting someone's deck as much as you can. I'm going to now show a Vicious Betrayal as we start our first turn. I'm going to exert it to play the Queen, and we're going to pass our turn to our opponent. And this is Boss Fox. He is doing his first play, he's going to show us a Pascal, put it face down in his inkwell. Usually he's actually playing with the new rules for the online streaming that are the Lorcana challenges are doing. He plays a Curse Merfolk, and then I decide that I'm going to ready up all my cards and ready up my characters. If I had anything ready, I'll show a Pete, put it face down into my inkwell, and then I am going to exert both of my cards on the field here to get ready to play some control. I am now exerting my cards to play a Sudden Chill. That's the card that will make him discard any card from his hand. So I'm trying to control his hand right now. Even though it's only one card, it's still something to do on turn 2, which I did not have anything in my hand to play on turn 2. I pass it over to him, and then I let him go for. He will be questing for that too, with that Curse Merfolk. He shows me a Madam M Fox. That definitely goes for that Curse Merfolk quest, and then I ready up my ink, and he passes. After my turn on that, we are going to drop a Hades into our inkwell, and then I am going to now exert my queen, and have her attack into the Curse Merfolk, get rid of the useless Hades in my hand, and then play my Diablo. What I have in my hand to start running some draws off. I'm not playing Bucky in this deck like you saw at the beginning of the game. I'd rather just play the deck as it is. Still green or emerald, and still has some of the nuisance cards as just like Diablo. My opponent now puts a card down into his inkwell as he plays his first float sim. And this one is a float sim that's going to be a nuisance for me if I don't get rid of it really soon. It's going to be hard for me to get rid of it in a challenge because it just go back to his hand. Then I ready up all my stuff on my side of the field, my ink, and then I decide what I want to do next. I'm definitely going to have the Diablo sing the Mother Knows Best to return that float sim, so get some more control off. And he's now in that exerted state that I can actually have him start benefiting me. I now bring out one of my last cards in my hand, and that's the Ursula that lets me on quest check his hand to get rid of anything that he has that's not a character. I now draw when he draws, so Diablo is making it so that me not having a hand does not mean a thing. Now that he has that character, so now that I have that character exerted, he now drops the floats in and shows me another Mim Fox. He's trying to ink up so that he can actually get into attacking that Diablo as fast as he can, because he can bring out some flotsam and jetsams that actually have evasive. And this little cut was just because we had an error with my camera. Don't worry about that. We didn't do any plays. I did actually put my ink down, and I'm about to reveal what I did for the ink to get us caught up. And I put down a John Silver into my ink. We are going to now play another Diablo that we drew. So now he has to deal with two of them. We're going to quest with my Ursula, and then check his hand to see if he has anything that's in his hand that is not a character. He reveals. We were just having a discussion here about what it actually does. He hasn't read it before. So now I'm telling him that he has to reveal his whole hand to me, and then I will pick a character or a card to discard from his hand. I just double check to make sure that there's not missing any text on the card, and we are confirming it. Yes, he has a friends on the other side. We make him discard that, and then we quest with the Queen, and we quest with the Diablo. From there, we are going to then pass. The questing here, I didn't realize that my camera was still not showing my proper lore on the left side of the screen there. So we eventually will pull the camera up. So I am at 6, not any higher than that right now. So I was just explaining to him how the Ursula works, and that he can't really see my lore that well. We'll fix that in the next couple turns. He plays out the Jet Sim, and that's when the Float Sim attacks into the Queen to kill it. His Float Sim goes back to his hand when it dies, and he brings out the Jet Sim. He inks another Float Sim. I'm going to keep calling Float Sim and Jet Sims. I don't know which ones are which because it's very hard to see on the screen half the time when I get shown his characters. So don't look too much if it's the wrong character I'm saying that he's showing me. I now reveal that I'm going to play Bruno on his character, make him discard a card randomly. I was under the impression that I was going to choose the dice roll, but he apparently chose it for me on the camera, so that's fine. I just showed him the third one from the left, and on his left is my right, so there we go. Well, he discarded a Madam M Fox, and then I'm now going to just reveal my Evil Queen, and then quest for as much as I can here, just because I want to have enough ink to play anything big that comes out, and I'm going to draw 2. As soon as he draws 1, and there's the 2 I draw, we are going to see what he can do next on his next turn. This is now getting out of hand for him, and he does realize that there's 2 Diablos on the board, so it does make it a lot harder for him to play against this board, especially since he's playing Amethyst and Emerald, and there's not much like removal for most people play in their decks now for those 2 colors. That's not like we don't talk about Bruno, and I don't think there's much room in his deck for it. So he brings out the Jet Sim, has enough to bring out the Float Sim. They are not the ones with Rush, so I have another chance to get some more lore off. He is going to see about getting rid of my characters next, and then I play a Ursula, the one that can sing songs twice. I have 2 cards in hand, and I am going to just quest for 2 more, and then go and pass my turn to my opponent there. I am at 12 lore, he's only at 2. It's still getting out of hand really fast for him. So he's going to draw for turn. I draw twice because of the Diablos. So we have that gameplay up and going there. So he has to deal with those quickly. He drops another Float Sim. And then a Curse Merfolk showing me he has nothing left in hand. He is going to decide if he wants to quest or attack into my characters. He's just splitting up the characters right now to see which ones that he just brought in so he can't attack with. So he'll attack into the Queen, get rid of the Queen. That one will go back to his hand, because that's how the Float Sim adjustments work. You can never get rid of them. If they keep going back to the hand, they keep bouncing back. Unless they are attacked or dealt damage through a direct damage card. That's how the only way you can beat past those cards. I show him a Queen. On my turn, I have my Ursula sing Mother Knows Best to bounce both of the Float Sim and Jet Sim back to the hand. And then I will now decide to quest with the 2 Diablos, and then I have all that open ink left to play. I can do more, but he decides to scoop on that phase as it's too much. I have too much lore, and the games it's just too far ahead. We are now moving on to our second game that we have against Boss Fox here. I am deciding to put back a few cards. He's definitely putting back some for his mulligan. He's decided to do 2. I'm still trying to decide how many I want to do. I end up doing 3 and putting 3 back to hand as I shuffle. Again, I don't like to look at my hand before I finish my shuffling and my cutting. I like it to be a surprise. That's how I like to play my game. It doesn't matter about for me about cutting too much, but because we're just again having some fun plays. I present my deck for cutting. We all decide which way we want to cut, and then we are going to start. He is actually going first, and we are going to be playing. Boss Fox is going to be playing out a Curse Merfolk after showing a goat and exerting the goat. I draw for turn. I am now going to show off something I don't need, which will be the Queen. I'll put the Queen in the inkwell and exert to bring out another Queen. So I only have the Queen as the one drop in this deck, besides the Hidden Cove. I will pass turn. My opponent will draw, and then they will show me what they're going to ink first before they decide to quest with the merfolk. They ink a castle, tap both for a Cusco, and then they're going to quest with the first merfolk so that they can get at 2. I'm at 0, and I'm trying to catch up, and I don't want that cursed merfolk to be a nuisance any longer. I show a vicious betrayal, and then I decide to exert to play a Ursula so I can see what's in his hand. There is a friends on the other side, and then I choose to do something too soon after I attack into the cursed merfolk and discard a card. I should have waited for a turn to do this, but I actually decide to shift my Ursula into the other Ursula, the new shift Ursula, by discarding a song from my hand to do that. He's thinking that I can, upon a shift, that he gets to lose his other card. And no, I'm trying to tell him no. It's only when it quests that you lose it. I did that in this shift early because I wanted him to make sure that he used that song up as fast as he could, so he didn't have time to play any characters out. That's why I did it like in my head when I was playing the game, after seeing that there was 2 friends on the other side. And he does have a Cusco. If he could have killed his own Cusco to draw another card, and that way he could have had a bunch more cards in his hand. But he did do what I thought I'd want him to do. He actually ended up using the friends on the other side, making it so I have another turn with my characters. I forgot to exert my queen there, so I'm going to pay 2 to move both characters to the Hidden Cove and get some lore for that. I forgot that the queen was not supposed to be exerted, and he showed me there's no characters in his hand for the Ursula, and then I quest for 1 with the queen there, and then I pass my turn. I then raise up all his ink, raise up his characters. I'm trying to think about how he's going to get through some of my characters there. He actually brings out a Madame Nim. He attempts to attack into the Ursula, but they're both at the Hidden Cove, but he doesn't realize that they're both stronger right now. So he ends up just killing the fox just to do some damage to the Ursula, and not realizing that she won't be killed. She passes turn from there. I ready up all my ink and my characters, and then I am going to just decide to play out another card. Whenever I decide to do that, I'm just moving my mouse out of the way, and we are going to take a look at what we're doing here. We are trying to determine, I guess, what's going on. We are moving the camera. This is the spot where I was saying that he can't see my lore, so I moved my camera up, and then I played out a Diablo, and then I put the Diablo to the Hidden Cove, and then I start questing with my characters. I take a look at his hand to see if there's anything that's not a character in his hand to discard, and then I quest for more. So sorry about the little break there. We had to change the camera angle so that he could see my lore. We are now passing the turn to Boss Fox to see if he can actually do anything about the board. I don't get a draw off of this Diablo yet because it is not exerted. He's doing a bunch of cards, all of his ink to play the Rush Jet Sim, or Float Sim. Yeah, it's Float Sim. And then he attacks into my my Ursula, so that there is no more checking his hand, and I don't mind that. As long her usefulness is now over with, and I now draw for a turn. I am going to play for 2 ink, a Bare Necessities, check his hand, see if there's anything new from his draw. There is not. I'm going to have the Queen attack into the Flotsam so that we can get that off board so it's not here anymore. And then I am going to quest for 1 with my Diablo. The thing with my hand being empty and Diablo being out, I can definitely get rid of everything in my hand and keep playing it all just to play to get more draws off with Diablo. I should have inked the bare necessities because I should have played it a little bit more closer to the chest by putting more ink down instead. He draws a rabbit. I didn't realize that I could draw again until he decides to tell me that I can draw again. So a few moments here will pass by without me not realizing that I get a draw. And I actually missed the draw the whole time. He didn't tell me about the draw, so unfortunately, I could have had one more draw here. And because I was not paying attention to it, I bring out the Pete, and then I quest with my Diablo again, and then I pass for turn. There are still no characters here that can deal with my Diablo, so I will draw for my turn once he draws, and I draw mine. And then Pete has ward on him, so he can't be touched by any kind of targeting card, which is awesome. He has a rabbit on board, so if he tries to bounce it back, I get the more draw again. And all this is going to be our first attempt at live duels online, so it's fine, I don't mind. He attacks the hidden cove, bounces back the rabbit back to hand, draws a card as he gets, and I draw a card because of the rabbit. He's trying to decide right now what he wants to do. It's most likely going to finish off the hidden cove because that is a nuisance to him. And we are going to just wait for him to make up his decision. He's going to ink the Cusco, play another card out. Once he's playing for 3, he's going to play the other floats in there, get rid of the cove. And then pass turn from there after he gains the lore, if he remembers to turn the Cusco. He's just trying to decide what else he wants to do for the one lore he has, or one ink he has left. And he decides to just do some more inking, I believe. Once he figures out what he wants to do, no, he decides to get another lore and catch himself up. I ready up all my characters, and I set, I draw, and then I am now going to do some cool plays I didn't know I could do until after I read my cards in my hand, where I can actually bring out all 5 and then bring out the queen. And then what the plan is to do here is have the queen do her ability and take attack from other characters and power up my Pete. I decide to quest with Diablo, not worried about him being evasive, and then I pass turn. I'm going to wait to see if I can actually keep my characters on board and then make my Pete so much stronger and higher in questing capabilities. The thing I want to do is actually quest with the queen, make the Pete a 7 attack, and then it's going to what it's going to do is it's going to give the Pete 4 lore, and I can actually quest for 4 with him. As my opponent brings out a rabbit and they draw, I draw also. They are trying to just bring out a whole bunch of characters because they're trying to now match my questing and getting lore. So now they're just going to getting as much lore as they can. So they're now going to be at 8. And then they have nothing left to do except for pass for turn. They are now realizing what I'm trying to do by not having them quest. And I am ready. Have all the characters set, draw. I am going to start us off by inking a Ursula that I don't need, and then for quest, and then putting all the cards into a John Silver by exerting them all. And I'm going to decide to choose one of the characters that he has on his side of the field to be reckless. I believe it's the green floats I'm going to choose. Yep. And then I am going to quest with the queen. I'm going to make the fox smaller, and then the Pete bigger. And I'm going to have Pete quest for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I will have my Diablo take out one of the characters. Yep, it was the fox. And then I will pass on turn on that. And there's not much that I can have to do here, as I'm very close to winning at this point. I have a bunch of characters on board, and he is going to take a few moments to take a good look at what he can do to help stop me from getting winning the game from here. He's really thinking about all the different things in his hand, what he can do. He does have a flotsam and a jetsam that can give him evasive, the challenge into the Diablo, so I don't get my draws off anymore. He has a bunch of power on board still to get rid of all my auxiliary characters. The John Silver will definitely be the one that's safest the most, and he will get me 2 more lore, but then my opponent does have to catch up again. He does have to sacrifice a bunch of his field just to be able to get through mine. He's trying to decide on which ones to do. Math-wise, he's trying to come up with a long way of trying to get rid of everything on board. The rabbit, he doesn't want to get killed off because he doesn't want me to get a draw off. He starts to decide what he wants to do, and we are going to get going in a few seconds here. He is just really trying to make it so that he can actually have a chance at winning here with his math that he's trying to do right now. He has the green, I think it's a flotsam attack into the queen. Flotsam will die. He'll go back to the hand because of the other jetsam on the field, and then he will show another flotsam, that same one that he put back to his hand, so we can get it in the ink. He's going to bring out a rush jetsam and then the other flotsam. So now he has everything that gives rush, so everything can fight now on this turn. Now it has evasive, so it can challenge into my Diablo. I'll take his 2 for that flotsam, and then he will proceed to take out my other 2 characters, so that I won't get any more draws off. He has the Cusco take out the queen, so that he gets the draw, and I get no more draws because I don't have the Diablo anymore. And he's now trying to decide what he wants to get rid of to get into the Pete, because the Pete can become an issue real quickly and real fast. So he has the 1 flotsam attack into it and kills it, goes back to the hand, and then he has a free reign to quest all he wants now. So he will do that. He will quest, and then the other character can't quest because it has rush. So he passes turn to me. I now ready, set, draw, and then I am going to play out for 2 the card that is called Sudden Chill. So he has to discard a card from his hand, so he has less of those flotsam and jetsams in hand. He's just trying to decide which one he wants to get rid of, and there goes that card. He now for 2 play another card, this a nicer version of my Inkcaster. Draw a card. From the draw, I didn't get anything great, so I decided to ink the Inkcaster I drew, and then for a play cost of 1, 2, I will play a Ursula. Check his hand to see if there's anything left in there for songs. There is not, and then I will quest with my John Silver, and then make one of his Kai's Reckless. I will choose one of the floats or just I don't remember which one I chose. I think it was the one with damage on it, and that will be it for my turn. As I tell him that it's his turn, and it's the center one. I did make him attack with that one, the one with no damage on it. He will pass turn, or I will pass turn to Boss Fox, and then he will ready up all his characters, draw, and then go from there. We are going to see if he can get enough lore to catch up to me without losing all his characters, or if this is it for him. He's trying to decide, again, through thinking that in math, that he's trying to see what he can do for getting rid of my characters. Well, I'm just planning out my next few moves. I can see my hand. I know what's going on. I'm getting ready to play my other cards in hand to make it so that he has no choice but to get rid of certain characters once I play them. He's trying to decide like how he can get caught up here with all his characters if he only has the one that has to challenge, and the other 2 are the only ones that can quest, and they have very little lore on them. I chose the one with the 2 lore on it so that you can't get out. We were just saying that, yeah, this is our channels. This is Boss Fox and XTG Kingdom. If you want to see more of our gameplay and more of our live stuff, just give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And we are going to have him quest where his rabbit's going to die. He's going to go back to the hand. He's going to draw a card because of the snake. The snake can't attack, so that's fine. He's now has to be reckless with the one character unless he can do something else like sing a song. He decides to play out another float sim. And then the jet sim there will attack into the John Silver. It does have enough to kill it. So they will both be traded off. That one does not go back to the hand because he doesn't have the other jet sim out, or float sim. I can never get these 2 characters right, no matter what I'm looking at here. So again, don't mind me for messing up the float sim and jet sim who's who kind of thing here. He drops a rabbit to draw a card, and then he passes his turn to me. I now ready up all my ink. I have the Ursula on board. I am now going to think about what I want to do here. I'm already ready for it, so I'm going to play out the bigger Ursula. I am going to, for 2, play another Inkcaster to draw. Let's see what I can get. I decide that there's nothing else here in my hand I can do. I am going to just quest with the Ursula, the small one, go to 18, and then he has no choice but to either quest or attack that Ursula or nothing else, because that bigger Ursula, the one that has shift on her, she can actually quest for 2, and I can win just from that alone. He has to draw any kind of card that can out my board, like the what about Bruno? Or we don't talk about Bruno, or anything else that's just a song that can help him with board. He does sing with the friends on the other side, so he can make for more stuff. He does not get anything from that. He's trying to figure out anything else he can do. He decides to play some ink out and hard play down the big flotsam and jetsam. So now we have nearly all of them on board. This is really neat. I like the deck. I like the swarm capabilities of it, which is cool. So now he has both abilities activated at all times on all his characters, which is awesome. There's a cool gameplay somewhat from there, but he can't win from there, so he decides that that's it for turn and scoops from there after showing me all he can do with ink, and then brings out Curse Merfolk, and that is it. That is the game, and we are done. After he attacks all my characters, I'm just pass the turn, quest up, and then I am going to just quest, show him my hand, and play a good game. This is my Villainous deck with Emerald and Amber. I do recommend trying it with other colors, but I do like this deck. If you are interested in knowing more about the deck, please like and subscribe for more other live gameplay details. And again, please check out our new sponsor, Realm Hoppers. It's a Canadian TCG singles place here in Canada, and we ship to Canada and other provinces. See you soon. Bye.